Good afternoon, traders from around the world. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing absolutely fantastic. It is Wednesday, also spelled Wednesday. Hope you're wonderful. Today was actually an interesting day in the markets for me. I was doing something called Willpower Wednesday, which is once a month for me on a Wednesday. I pick at random, weeks in advance, and I just don't trade that day. I sit in front of the computer pretty much all day looking at tons and tons of trading opportunities and just don't trade anything. I just do it to keep me humble, keep me sharp, keep me patient, keep me disciplined. All those attributes that are good for real life professional traders. Let's look at the broad markets today, the SPY, and we're going to check out some other things as well. Good news. So the high of today, 240.73. The previous all-time high, 240.67. Ladies and gentlemen, we have made another all-time high on the S&P 500, or at least the SPY as of today. So what do I expect from here? Well, more or less, you got 5 pretty gnarly white candles in a row. So at some point, we'll probably wick down. I just don't know how big or trade down, and I think that'll be a good buying opportunity. Interesting, though, that we're going to come into the summer with some buying because, usually June, July, August are a little bit more of a bearish. June, July, August, a little bit of a slower month, and then August, September, October are usually a little bit more bearish. Let me kind of give you an idea that I had yesterday in the trading room, in the afternoon swing trading room. I was looking at this one, nice white candle gapping up, beautiful retest gap. So from here, what really could happen is we break out. As you all know, all-time high breakouts have been deplorable for the last 3 years. So we'll probably retest, and maybe we do something like this into August, September, and then we bounce off of the 50. I'm kind of thinking that's maybe worst case scenario for the bulls. I realistically think so. I still think we go higher. Anyway, bottom line is SPY looks good. I don't have any particular position on the SPY. However, on the Russell, the IWM, very interesting candle, 1 penny away from a perfect doji. I like the doji. So right now, really nice doji on the IWM. Again, pretty classic, but we are most indubitably sideways on the IWM. And that's why I got a bear call spread and a bull put spread on the IWM, just hanging out, letting it do its thing. Let's look at some tech stocks today, shall we? Here's Apple, ticker symbol AAPL. And I do have some weekly call options on Apple that I got into on this day, which was, what day was that, Monday? So I think I'm going to lose on those trades, more than likely, lose an R. I got 155 weekly calls. Tomorrow in Apple, I'll be keeping an eye on this little evening star reversal pattern right here. A little bit of a support right there on Apple, and if that breaks lower, trades down into the 20 EMA, that's a potential day trade for me, but I really don't think that I win on this trade, which is okay. Sometimes you lose on trades. Anyway, Apple looks good, kind of is a little bit more bullish than bearish, but the market's stronger. Apple not so much. Anyway, I'm just keeping an eye up here. It's already moved drastically far, and I would love, honestly, to pull it down to the 50. So I'm watching this evening star pretty closely on Apple. Here's Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN, and Amazon on the race to 1,000. Been saying that this is going to hit 1,000 this year for a while, and the next really ultimate target for 2017 is 1,049.63 on Amazon. Nice new white soldier today, beautiful trend, Amazon cooking with fire. Here's Netflix, ticker symbol NFLX, and I really am keeping a close eye on Netflix. Feel free to watch this one as well. Nice higher lows, relative high, watching for Netflix to either break down or break up out of that pennant pattern. If it breaks out of that pennant pattern bullish, it'll be going with the direction of the trend, and I certainly will not be bearish on Netflix. Here's PLSE. This was requested, Pulse Biosciences. And I actually do like this setup on Pulse. So realistically, I was looking at this as a resistance, some type of weird, large double bottom type of pattern. It broke out, retested by the dip, right? And the last 3 candles have made higher highs on PLSE. So if you requested that one for the trader looking at Pulse Bioscience, it's a biotech. It's a pretty volatile stock, obviously, but right now it looks more bullish than bearish. Speaking of volatile stocks, here was Puma Biotechnology, and we had a lot of real-life traders, some pretty aggressive traders. They're very skilled in the arts of risk mitigation with option selling. This trade had 400% implied volatility a few days ago. 2 or 3 days ago, it had about 700% implied volatility. So there were a lot of traders in the real life trading world selling put options because they didn't really mind owning the shares. So Bob snagged himself $3 of premium. So great job, Bob. Brad got some good trades on that one. I think Fred made a little bit of money. A lot of traders made some good money on PBYI. Obviously a very, very aggressive trade. I mean, on a 1 to 10 scale, this is a 10 out of 10 on aggressiveness. But Puma Biotech, with an FDA approval today, gapped up 20%. Right now it's at 30%. A lot of volume, a lot of white candles in a row. And you know, the reason we've been looking at this trade as well, this is the weekly chart. And it's in an accumulation phase, right? I mean, this is Dow Theory 101, distribution, polar participation, there's the accumulation. So we've been looking at it as a buy low, sell high, really for the last few months. And we've had a few traders play this one time and time again. So, huge white candle, a lot of volume. Look for the retest on Puma, and if you're looking at playing it, buy the bounce. Here's US Steel. US Steel, a lot of people watching this one very closely. I'm most inclined to see how this candle closes this week. So today is Wednesday. Nice one white soldier candle on the 100 simple moving average on the weekly. This is also a good little morning star reversal. So depending on how X closes on Friday will determine how much bullishness I have going forward on ticker symbol X. Worst case scenario for the bulls, we get something like this. That's worst case scenario, and that's, believe it or not, I think probably 50% of what could happen. And of course, the other 50% is, yeah, we go higher. So one of two things: we either get this and then that's, so or we go higher as we start bouncing. Let's see how this candle closes this week. It'll be interesting to find out. Here's FCX. And FCX on the weekly chart also trying its best to bounce off the 100 simple moving average on the weekly. I'm interested to see how this candle closes as well, because it's also a nice little morning star reversal pattern on a weekly chart, and I'd like to see FCX potentially bounce. Got a few other stocks that are requested. Here they come. Topside Motors, ticker symbol TTM. Here is the daily chart. This thing has been all over the place last 2 or 3 days. Some big gnarly gaps. Let me go over to your weekly chart. Weekly chart on Tata is going to be all about how it closes above this pivot if it can. It looks like some type of big triangle to me, something like that. So on TTM, if you're keeping an eye on this one, it's in a big distribution phase for the last really about 1.5 years. So if it trades back down to here, buy low, sell high, and at some point this triangle will break down or up. I just don't know exactly what direction. Shout out to a few traders playing Nokia profitably, ticker symbol NOK. So Nokia, you might remember me talking about this one in the real life stock review not too long ago. Had a really good bullish gap and go on earnings, had a phenomenal 3-day pennant pattern, and then bloop, broke higher. We've already hit target 1 and we've hit target 2. And the good news is we skipped right over target 1 into target 2. So you would have exited a half and a quarter, which I think is 3/4, at 663 for about 2.5, 3 Rs on Nokia. Here's your weekly charts, and again, that was kind of the 200 simple moving average. Long term for anyone trading Nokia, it could maybe make it up into 820. But if you're trading Nokia at this point, great job with the game. I'd say scoot your stop up on the other quarter of that remaining position to about 613, lock in some profit. Well done on Nokia. Here is the Container Store, ticker symbol TCS. And the Container Store, a few people keeping an eye on this one, had a pretty good gap. I did not take this trade, but this is one that has been on our, I don't know if watch list is the right word, but I analyzed it back in February and March and was saying, hey, if you're looking at playing this, this is a buy low, sell high, accumulation type of play. And make sure you know your risk, make sure you know your time frame, all that kind of good stuff. So here's the analysis on TCS, the Container Store, March 16th. And I kind of put two charts back to back, a longer term and a shorter term. So it was like, again, buy low, sell high on the Container Store. More bullish than bearish for sure. So this particular chart down here, I had an aggressive shorter term stop at 382 and then a more conservative longer term stop at 372, just 10 cents difference. The conservative stop obviously did not get triggered. The aggressive one did. But if you went with a conservative stop, I mean, boom, huge gain today. Had a trader text me, I don't know who it was personally, but someone from an 818 area code said they snagged 4.5 Rs on the remaining position on TSS. So hey, great trade on the container store. Well done. Huge gap. A lot of volume. I think the same thing applies. It's still a buy low, sell high. So look for it to trade lower and then buy the dip. McDonald's has been very frequently requested, and here's why. The weekly chart, if you want to have a fun game, you can count how many white candles in a row McDonald's has had on a weekly time frame, and the number is 20, at least at present moment in time. So McDonald's, here's the fib target I have on this one, and really just impressive amount of bullish candles in a row. Next target, probably 154.26. It's hard to short right now. This is a behemoth of a trend. Really strong. I think the movie The Founder helped a little bit on this one. But we trade right down into the 10 EMA today. So yeah, I think we go higher. The challenge on McDonald's is when to get in bullish if you're not. And it's probably going to be around the 140 region. So I know a lot of traders looking at some longer term put sales, longer term calls, looking for some stocks to purchase. I agree. I think this is a big breakout on McDonald's. It's probably not the best time to buy right now. But here's kind of the weekly chart. I mean, it's screaming. So on some type of dip, figure out your time frame on it. But yeah, I think it goes higher before it goes lower. And we'll take it from there. Had another trader, Sam, wanted to look at Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman. So LMT, shout out to my buddy Troy and a few other traders who are in Lockheed Martin. So we also published Lockheed Martin bull put spread. Let me kind of zoom in here. Here's the daily chart. So back on the 19th of May, a few days ago, on that day, got into a bull put spread on Lockheed Martin, 260, 255 for June. So here was that post on TradingView for any of my credit spread fans, right there. And again, a few traders got a chance to snag that. Really good gap on Lockheed Martin. This is also a trade that, if you remember, and you're welcome to come back and check out this article if you want. They're not all winners, of course. But early in the year, I wrote stocks that I'm most bullish on for 2017. It's right here on the website. And Lockheed Martin was number 2. And Lockheed Martin crushing it for the year right now. Beautiful retest gap. White candle, gapping up into an all-time high 3 days ago. A beautiful retest. And then looking, here's the bounce. So on Lockheed, how do you want to play it from here? Well, bullish and buy the dip on whatever time frame it's looking like for you, either daily, weekly, or hourly. Here's ticker symbol NOC, and pretty similar on NOC. This was a trade that I really liked after this cute double bottom down here. There it is, the double bottom, close of the neckline, retest, and then it broke out mid-April coming into earnings. So right now, Northrop Grumman, I believe, made an all-time high just 2 or 3 days ago. What high is this? 254 exactly. Yep, so all-time high just 3 days ago. It's probably going to make another one here soon. Here's the weekly chart. And again, just keep a reminder, folks, that the last few years have been terrible for all-time high breakouts. Right? So what I mean by that is, instead of taking the breakout, just look to take the retest, because you probably will get one at some point. Right? And Northrop Grumman, nice little triangle pattern. So if it breaks out, don't buy here. Buy the dip, right? Buy into weakness, sell into strength. That's my thoughts on NOC. Right now, the moon is the limit on this one. I don't really have a target. I don't have any position on NOC. I could do a really quick fib and figure out where this thing could go, at least shorter term, but I'm definitely by no means bearish. This is all going to be, timing is going to be key on this one. I think I'm going to do a little bit of a shorter term fib. Shorter term Fibonacci analysis on NOC 279.30. So I can see us break out of this triangle, retest it, and then ultimately make it up to 279.30. But yes, bullish for sure is the direction on Northrop Grumman. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks so much for tuning in to your Wednesday Real Life Stock Review. You are all gracious, beautiful human beings. Thank you so much for tuning in. The next one will be on Friday. And until then, remember, love life, and trade it. You guys rock. Bye.